The turn of the wheel begins the journey of a lifetime. The stroke of the pedal unleashes the power of the peloton. Every action has a consequence. And this is where it all begins. July 1st, it's Canada Day, and 32 riders, volunteers, cancer warriors, and friends are here in Calgary to celebrate the start of the Cancervive journey to San Jose, California.
The words are hilly and hot.
I'm having too much fun and I'm making money for the group and I've got new friends.
It just warms my heart, and as a cancer survivor, it makes me want to aspire to do greater things when I see what can be accomplished when people get together and from the heart.
I'm totally ready. And Doug is riding with me every pedal of the way. Doug was a rider to Austin in 2007, and at that time he had been diagnosed with liver disease, but he did the ride quite effectively and was the top fundraiser that year.
These are the co-workers I have. I'm so damn lucky, you can't believe it.
And he passed away in April of 2008, so it's my legacy to carry on and do what he did before me, so that's why I'm here, and happy about it.
The ride's a lot of fun. We're doing it for a good reason.
Are you going on the ride? Yeah. There's a great energy and anticipation as we prepare for stage 1 of the ride. But there's also a sadness because of the sudden death of one of the key members of the Cancervive team. John Stafure, a man who has spent his life helping others, has died suddenly.
Would not be here without the support from John Stafure. He was just an incredible gentleman, and he will be missed by everybody.
We wouldn't be here, we wouldn't have done the ride after the first year without John. This beautiful facility you see here today wouldn't have been possible without John. So this ride is dedicated to John.
Last year was the best year yet, and this year's just going to be better.
It's great, excellent cause, great filling, great riders, wonderful cause.
Do you know the way to San Jose? I've been away so long, I may go wrong and lose my way.
Wait a minute. Maybe we don't know the way. We're heading north, not south. Let's change the music. That works better for now. All the riders will work together today to push through to Leduc, Alberta, a 270-kilometer ride. From there we'll head west, then south through British Columbia, all the way to San Jose. We'll save Dionne Warwick for later. The day's ride will be shared equally by all teams, except for one unusual exception.
So you did the full ride today from...
Yeah, did the whole thing.
And how did it go?
Very good.
How do you feel?
Lots of support.
I could keep doing it for another 8 days. Tonight is a wonderful event, Dawn, where all the Wellspring Edmonton Steering Committee people are converging with the riders, and it's, as you know, to the Edmonton riders, all the money that they raised is going to Wellspring Edmonton, and so it's a beautiful evening for everybody to meet one another and just enjoy, and what a wonderful send-off, I think. Thank you. You gotta ramble.
When the ride is challenging, reflect on all you've put into it, all the love and support you've received getting to this point, the starting line. By participating in this ride, each of you is making a tremendous difference to those of us living with cancer. I hope along the way you can feel our gratitude, and I hope it helps you reach the finish.
Thursday, day 2, and Team 1 is getting ready for their first 6-hour shift.
Trying to figure out how we're going to get there.
On your bike, my friend. On your bike.
Yeah.
I'd like to dedicate this ride to my family, the people that supported me throughout my fight with cancer, and people that supported me for 3 rides for Cancervive.
It's a beautiful morning.
A beautiful morning for a ride. And as Team 1 pulls away from Leduc towards Devon, the rest of the riders head into Edmonton for a chance to spread the word about this great cause.
Global TV's here and our riders are. So what we're doing is kind of launching our Edmonton edge of the tour, and that's exciting for us.
Thursday, 11:45 a.m. We're at the transition from Team 1 to Team 2, just outside Entwistle, Alberta. It's about 20 degrees, and it's just a gorgeous day.
3, 2, 1.
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and when we were in Edson about an hour ago, it was looking pretty darn nice, but as we're moving towards Jasper, you can see we're going to be moving into some fairly heavy weather.
You turned on the wind. Let it rain, oh, let it rain.
Isn't this fun?
Yeah! Jody! Jody! 1, 2, 3. Jody!
We dedicated this ride to Jody, one of the riders who her cancer came back. She couldn't make it, so Jody, this is for you.
It was really great, except for my hands, which are not functioning, but I'm not the only one in that.
Ready to go, Bill?
Ready to go, buddy.
Who's this ride for today?
This one's for my little warrior Joel, who's back home and thinking of him. So this one's for you, buddy.
This ride's for Janet and Kathy as well.
Midnight, Friday, day 3, and we're just near the British Columbia border. Team 4 is getting ready for their first long ride. A little chilly tonight. So Rita, how do you feel going into your first night ride?
Excited and a bit nervous, but once I get pedaling, I know it'll be okay. The stars are beautiful, and as long as the truck doesn't run me over, I'll be fine.
And many a long and lonesome highway lies before us as we go, and in the end I'll do it my way. Look for me where the 4 winds blow.
Late morning, and the day is already heating up. Team 5 has found some great riding in central British Columbia.
We got everything. It was nice and cold in the morning. It was all downhill. The scenery's beautiful, the weather's beautiful. The company was great. Doing it for my mom, so can't wait to see her in San Jose.
But noontime temperatures in the low 30s indicate it could be getting hot.
Is the weather going to play a factor, do you think, with the heat? Oh yeah, I mean, it's 95 degrees right now. It's going to make a huge, huge difference.
What a way to spend the 4th of July. Team 1 pushes through Washington State on a perfect evening.
With fireworks and incredible teamwork, couldn't have been any better.
It's Sunday morning, 5th of July, and we're taking our little run through Wenatchee, Washington, where we spent the last night. Team 3 is right where we expected to find them. In the middle of nowhere. And none of us would be here, in the middle of nowhere, without the commitment of our fine corps of volunteers.
What has surprised me is how quickly the cyclists can actually travel. It's really surprised me because it keeps the volunteer group on the run because we always have to be ahead of them.
Inside the Team 4 van, it's pretty hilly. How do you guys feel going into this ride?
Now that we scouted it out.
Apprehensive.
Yeah.
We've been on the scouting trip, and apprehensive is a decision.
Yep. So Rita, has every day been a discovery for you?
Yeah. I've learned stuff about myself, and every day I've started with some apprehension about something, and it's all worked out.
What's your apprehension today?
We're in the middle of nowhere, and it's hot as hell.
We go!
Another very warm day outside for us. You're going to want to make sure you've got lots of fluids. Temperatures are going to be in the high 90s. We are still in that heat advisory, which will go away at 8 o'clock tonight. And
But when it's dark, we have to stick together.
Day becomes night, once again, and Team 5 rides on. It's a lot harder to see and to be seen after dark. Breaks in the road surface can cause havoc when cyclists are in such a close group. It's a dangerous time to be on a bike, but we've got the guidance and support of our medical team to keep us safe. Monday, day 6, and we're in the high hills of Oregon. Lots of climbing, lots of descending,
Climbed and dropped and climbed.
and each team is doing its part.
Most new riders, in my experience, are pretty scared of going down hills, and Margie is one of these new riders that she hammers.
Here's how it all works. Each team rides for 6 hours each day, hoping to average 125 kilometers during their shift. Then they have 24 hours off. Sounds like a lot, but when you factor in at least 5 hours in the van getting to their next start point, meals, laundry, bike maintenance, all the rest, there's usually about 2 or 3 hours for sleep. What keeps them going? Commitment to a great cause and rides like this.
Riders seem to love it. They complain about the hills going up, but they seem to love them afterwards when they talk about just the sheer amount of mileage you put on hills. They seem to love that when they're talking about it later.
The beauty of it is you have to do the uphills to get the joy of the downhills.
Last year I went to Philadelphia. Bill Reber invited me up to Philadelphia as a warrior. I was in chemotherapy, and 2 weeks after that I got to go to Philadelphia and participate in Cancervive, and it just lifted my spirits and gave me direction again. It's all this positive energy, and everyone is so happy, and one way or another their lives have been impacted by cancer, and it's just a huge pick-me-up. It's such a positive environment and really just a loving place.
Take a ride, get on the trip, get hip, slip and slide, and we're moving on a grooving train. Don't stop, don't strain, this feeling is like an eagle gliding. Can you feel the sails riding high?
Now this is the 5th one for you. What have you learned on this trip that you didn't know before?
Well, I've learned that cycling in 44-degree weather is like wearing a big soggy diaper.
Tuesday morning, start of day 7, and Team 1 is in the parking lot of the Best Western in Lakeview, Oregon, getting ready for their ride. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning.
It looks like it's going to be pretty nice. Moon's up, and should be a nice sunrise, and hopefully it won't be too hot.
Hey, 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 beautiful day, hey, beautiful day. When the night fills my soul, I'll be home, I'll be
Yeah, got a gorgeous night. A gorgeous morning too.
Some nice little inclines, nothing too steep, and some really quick downhills, really good.
I tell you what I am very impressed with is the organization. I mean, I'm amazed at how well this thing has gone off.
You know, we're here to support the riders, and it's pretty important to do this.
Ready to give her again. Yeah, sleep is a wonderful thing.
Riding in a close group or peloton can reduce overall effort by over 30%. It's part of the philosophy of Cancervive. The strength of the group can strengthen the individual.
It's fun, keeps you stimulated. The biggest thing, it keeps the group together. And then on a team with so many different abilities, it's the easiest way to do it.
However, there are always exceptions.
We gotta have a talk with Margie. I give up. We can't keep up to her. I was going mock chicken down that hill. I couldn't keep up to her.
M-train gets going. You just have to get out of the way. We can't keep up.
Wait, she's out of control.
There's an I in Margie, but there ain't no I in Tina. We just keep chasing and chasing and chasing. It drives me crazy.
If I write you out a ticket, then you better drive slow. I'm just doing my job. I'm the highway patrol.
Hi.
I was just going to let you know that we got you clocked coming down the hill a bit fast. We got a bike speed limit through here.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and you're about 10 over, so I'm going to have to issue you a ticket. You got any ID with you?
No.
No ID, huh?
No ID. No, you're not serious.
Oh, perfect.
Can you come out here? And I went, did I do something wrong? Yes.
Okay, they just wanted me to.
I know you're younger than me. You should take care of me.
Just doing my job. Just doing my job. I'm the highway patrol.
It's Wednesday morning already.
Probably holding back speed more just to stay warm.
Something we hadn't counted on.
Motorhome here. I'm at the intersection of Hobart Hill.
We can make the transition point at a different point here, but I want to wait for the cyclists. They're pretty cold.
Freezing temperatures in the high elevations of California.
Zero.
You didn't expect this in California, did you?
No, in Jasper maybe, but not here.
So tell me about the ride tonight.
It was steep, and I felt like quitting. I felt like crawling off my bike and quitting, but I didn't.
And why not?
Oh, Norbert and Patty and Brian just kept kind of talking me through it, and I didn't want to quit. And I just found the strength to keep going.
You've been through a lot in your life. This is quite the punctuation, is it not?
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it. But now the birds are singing and the sun is going to start coming up, and we're almost there.
It's been a real good bookend for me, but doesn't mean the fight's over.
How do you mean bookend?
It's been just over a year for me since my surgery, and it's good.
Beautiful.
We made it. Can you believe we did it?
What does it feel like to be done?
Absolutely fantastic. I didn't think we could do it. Norbert said we could, Brian said we could, and both Rita and I didn't think we could, but we did it.
This is where the first F-bomb happened, and then the second F-bomb there.
And then there were more when it got cold.
You do it again?
That's right. Absolutely.
There's beers here.
What do you think of all of these people?
I think they're fantastic.
No one in now, but that's the plan.
Caring people.
It's been lots of fun and really good to meet all these people. But it's been a little crazy, but that's always good.
Quite an adventure, huh?
Yeah, lots of fun.
Okay, we're looking for Highway 89.
So Dan, you're sitting out the last ride. You've had a bit of a sickness issue.
Oh yeah, I got a cold, so gotta sit this one out or I'm gonna end up in the California medical system.
And why is that?
If I get a fever, I'm automatically in the hospital. So.
Can you just give me a quick sort of thumbnail sketch about your chemo and stuff that you're doing right now?
I do a chemo called Gleevec. I do it twice a day. I do 400 milligrams in the morning and 400 at night. And basically what it's doing right now is just buying me time. And yeah.
And how's this ride been for you?
Awesome. I love it. It's a blast. I wish I could be riding today. But I gotta, my body's saying no, so I gotta listen. And that's the hardest thing to learn. Considering I've never rode bike before, I think that's awesome. And I felt great. Other than my ass. My ass. Yesterday, you might want to shut the camera off for this one. Felt like somebody stuck a stick in there. Holy crap.
The final day. Great roads, great weather, and lots of hills.
Keep on pushing, keep pushing on.
The top.
Keep pushing on, keep pushing on, keep pushing on, keep pushing. It won't be long. Keep on pushing, child.
Very tough. Pretty long too, huh?
So big ride today. Who would like to dedicate the ride?
It's dedicated to all the warriors.
All the warriors.
Warriors! Closer to the heart and the rhythm, closer to the skin and the bone. You gotta walk right through this fire to find your way home. Gotta find my rhythm, gotta move my soul. Gotta learn to surrender, turn this metal to gold. Gotta lean to the left, keep an open hand. Lose my mind and use my heart if I still.
So Corey, where the hell are we?
We're in Patterson.
And what does that mean?
Oh, we're about 3K from home, 3K from a celebration, 3K from 8 days of hard ride, but great times.
Good stuff.
We made it. 3,400 kilometers, 8 days and 18 hours, 32 riders, a dozen volunteers, all united by a common cause. Tomorrow, we complete the ride to San Jose as one.
Well, today is the end of the riding portion of the 2009 Cancervive journey. And we're going to do our police escort the last 10 miles into our hotel in San Jose with all the riders. And a few of the volunteers are going to ride along, and all the vehicles are going to follow behind us.
Do you know the way to San Jose? I've been away so long, I may go wrong and lose my way. Do you know the way to San Jose? I'm going back to find some peace of mind in San Jose. I've got lots of friends in San Jose. Oh, do you know the way to San Jose? Can't wait to get back to San Jose.
That's it.
This is an amazing collection of human beings. Now I've witnessed it. It's an unbelievable group, and I'm just so privileged to be a part of it.
Everybody worked as part of the team and helped each other along, and it was a blast.
It's the privilege of each rider to invite a warrior to come and participate in the Live Strong charity walk, run, or ride. We define a warrior as someone who is either in the midst of a battle or just finishing a fight with cancer.
This is Tammy.
Hi, Tammy.
You know, the cycling is challenging, drew a lot of attention, but this is what it's really all about. The warriors that are here for the weekend to get a break from the despondency of cancer.
I didn't think I would cry, and as soon as I walked down the stairs and I saw everybody laughing, you know, saw Nancy, and saw Patty, and yes, it's very emotional.
Going to put on your glasses?
She was diagnosed with retinoblastoma when she was 6 months old, and Jim used to be our neighbor, and he took us on a journey, and it's just wonderful.
Well.
We have a large group of our Cancervive warriors, riders, volunteers, and guests all heading into San Francisco, and some of them are going to bike the bridge, some of them are going to do Alcatraz, some of them are going to do baseball, and there's some that are just exploring San Francisco on their own.
Such a strange vibration. People in motion.
700 kilometers, I can't even ride a bike.
There's a whole generation.
It's nice to be, actually I'm very surprised we all stick together as a group. That's wonderful.
You gotta kind of consider that, right?
What's that? What's that you gotta consider?
You gotta consider that I was in a chemo bed about 3 months ago.
If you come to San Francisco, summertime.
I did it. That nearly killed me, but I did it.
Cancervive!
After the day's activities, we got to take in a Major League Baseball game. It was not exactly warm at the park, but no one was complaining. The beer was as cold as we were. Sunday morning, and the group is forming for the big event of the weekend, participation in the Livestrong Challenge.
So we're all heading over to the Livestrong site. Some people will walk, some people will ride, and this is what it's the whole event culminates in.
There's a number of options for us today. Cyclists can do rides of 10 to 100 miles long. We have a few doing those. There's a walk or run as well, 5 kilometers, something for everyone to try.
It feels great. We're going in the ride. We went 5 years ago. We didn't think we'd be here 5 years later riding together in Livestrong, so this is sort of closure for us, but we're both excited about it.
We are amazed by you and your stories and your energy. We have little Kai on our pedicab. What a bunch of great people. We're really enjoying having you.
Oh, it's great!
There are 4 of these Livestrong events across the United States every summer. Participants take to the streets, uniting in the fight against cancer.
you know, Benson Alliance had, and you didn't have to do that in his honor, but you know, you're back here for Youth Zone Challenge in honor of
So how was it?
Great, easy.
the long, successful life, you know, Benson Alliance had, and
Just outside of Calgary.
just outside of Calgary. So you came a long ways for this day. Did you come down here to San Jose just for the Live Strong Challenge?
Actually, we had a great event with Cancervive. That's the reason why we're all here as a team.
100 miles.
It's Sunday night, and in the Cancervive tradition, we got all the warriors, riders, and volunteers together for a final dinner.
It's the most incredible weekend that I've ever experienced in my life, and of all the things that went on for the 2 or so days of activities, not one person of any had anything bad or down or complaint or anything.
I have been with fabulous people that have inspired me, and I just want to go home and move and start living fully. Here I feel like I've gotten a crash course on how to live fully for free.
I don't want to have a year go by that I can't try and give back somehow to other people, to have them have an opportunity to do this as well. So I just want to thank everybody for what they've done. Thank you.
We are simple, we are lucky, we are alive, and we have time, so let's keep it simple. Let's stay together, let's keep our eyes open wide. It's hard to breathe when the wind dies down. Hard to believe when you've lost your way in a foreign town. It's hard to relearn how to waste time when your time pays so well. It's hard to live when you've died and been through hell. But we are simple, we are lucky, we are alive, and we have time, so let's keep it simple. Let's stay together, let's keep our eyes open wide. And the days are getting brighter and brighter, 'cause we've given up questing sunshine for rain. And the days are getting better and better, 'cause we're learning new rules to an old game. But we are simple, we are lucky, we are alive, and we have time. keep it simple. Let's stay together. Let's keep our eyes open wide.
Let's leave our hut, dear, get out of our rut, dear. Let's get away from it all.
Team one!
Yeehaw! Woohoo!
Go, baby, go! Team two, go on show! Team three!
Is that it? Yeah.
Team four, Cancervive! Do you know the way to San Jose? Team five, who let the dogs out? Hoo-ha! Hoo-ha!
We'll travel round from town to town, visit every state.
I'll repeat that I love you, sweet, in all the 48.
Off to Niagara, this time we're digging the fall. Yes, we're leaving, we're hitting the road, oh, we're leaving. We're hitting the road, yes, we're leaving. We're hitting the road, oh, we're getting away from it all.
You've done it all, you're there. When the ride is challenging, reflect on all you've put into it, all the love and support you've received getting to this point, the starting line, and I know you'll find the will to face the challenges and keep moving forward. As survivors, we're often asked how we keep going, and the answer is pretty simple, but easier said than done. We live hopefully and we live fully. That's key to reaching any goal. Remember, you've done all the hard work and preparation to meet any challenge you're going to meet on the way on this ride. The hard work is in the uphills. I've looked at a map and the Rockies are there. And I hope you've done your hill training because they're there. I've also noticed there's 3 significant wine areas along the way, so more about that later. But anyways, really the hard work's in the uphills. Winter in Edmonton is not ideal for training, whether it's for a 1,000-kilometer bike ride or a run. Ice, cold, darkness, all big uphill challenges. So what motivated you and I to keep working toward our goals, even when the steep uphills were there every single day? We knew ultimately it would make us stronger, right? Physically, but more importantly, mentally. That if you put in the training for the uphills, you're going to do it. Consistent hard work, even when it's training uphill, pays back spades when you meet them in real life. Whether it's chemotherapy, a diagnosis such as I've received, or for you, whether it's the driving rain, aching muscles, or the doubt that you might not be able to finish your ride. Your ability to keep pedaling is going to be there. Remember the uphills that you trained. They've made you stronger. So, training to get to the start line and training the uphills. Those are great memories to power you through your race. When it was 30 below, I'd head to the treadmill and just do it. I'd run, I'd put in the miles in the hills, I'd zone out and pretended I was strong. So you might have to do that. That's okay, you'll get through it. When I didn't feel that way and I was tired, I remembered my goal. I use these memories every day to help me with my challenges, and I hope you'll tap into your own memories of the hard work that you've done and face the challenges that will be presented. The best part of an uphill is that when you get to the top, there's usually a downhill. I have a friend and a coach who her best saying is never waste a downhill. She said I could swear on the uphills, but the downhills, never waste. And you know what? You can't really savor a downhill unless you've done an uphill. So enjoy the ride fully. The easy parts, where you are living the moment and soaking it all in, experiencing the emotions, is such an incredible experience. I'm actually really jealous. It sounds like an amazing adventure. If we're as lucky as survivors, we begin to see and experience so much with this single one-pointedness. I wish you all special times during your ride, where you experience moments of this connectedness, whether it's to the beauty of your surroundings, to your loved ones, or to your inner thoughts. By participating in this ride, each of you is making a tremendous difference to those of us living with cancer. I hope along the way you can feel our gratitude, and I hope it helps you reach the finish. In closing, 3 years ago I ran my first half marathon. I was well under 2 hours, and I was like, yahoo, I can do this. 3 months later, I was given my present diagnosis. And you can see that through hard work, we can accomplish a lot. My husband bought me a picture. You know, they send you these things after you've done these things, and they're very expensive, these little weenie pictures for $40. But he bought me one of me crossing the finish line, and the caption said, if it is to be, it's up to me. As you start your ride, each one of you faces an exciting challenge, but ultimately it's up to each one of you. I hope you can feel our love and support helping you to the finish line. All of us together believing it's up to me create a tremendous we. And it's unstoppable. You can and we can make a difference. On behalf of the Edmonton Wellspring Group, we wish you a safe journey and tremendous satisfaction and success on your run. Or your ride. See, they're very similar. It's all the same, right? It's about starting and the process and getting to the end. So thank you, safe journey, and all the best from Edmonton Wellspring.
I thought it was very fitting to say a few words because, as you all know, John spent much of the last 10 years persevering to get the Wellspring built in Calgary. And it seemed that his life here on earth was finished on the day that Calgary Wellspring was opened. And I think that's a very fitting legacy for Calgary. Those of you who knew John knew that he was one of the kindest men you'd ever run across, and it had a tremendous impact on people around him. And what he has accomplished is he has made a huge difference for the people of Calgary. And you know, a lot of people, they ride through our life. You know, I'm thinking you people are going to the mountains, and so a lot of people ride through the mountains and they look at the scenery and they say, oh, isn't that nice? And you people are going to be you're going to be riding through the mountains in the next few days. But one of the things you've done is you've made a commitment before you rode through there that you're going to make a difference. And so when you ride through those mountains in the next few days, I want you to think about that you are making a huge difference. And it's going to impact thousands and thousands of people. And that's going to be your legacy, and you can think about that your whole ride, that there will be people for many generations to come that will think about you people and what you did to create the Wellsprings in Edmonton and Calgary. And thank you very much. And now Brian would like to say a few words.
Okay, first off, I didn't know it was uphill. Chris promised me that it averaged downhill from here to San Jose, so please be calm. But we've been doing this ride. This is our 5th year, and even from the first year, we've always had participation from Edmonton. So when we heard that Edmonton was going to go get a Wellspring, we thought, what a great opportunity for us to pay it back and pay it forward, which is kind of been our mantra anyway since the start, is let's pay it forward. Edmonton and Calgary they remind me of two brothers that fight. and the competition between the two of them just makes them stronger. And that really what gives you the Alberta advantage. You know, these two brothers that are fighting and competing back and forth, we got a wellspring, now they have to get a wellspring. You know, and the strength grows. And like two brothers, if you fight one of the brothers, the other one is there to protect his back. And that's what we are here. We're brothers, and cancer is here, and we're fighting together to complete the fight. So, thank you for putting us such a nice warm welcome for us. It's great to come here. It's great to unite Alberta in this fight. So, thank you very much.
It's Sunday night, and in the Cancervive tradition, we got all the warriors, riders, and volunteers together for a final dinner. This time, very appropriately, at a nice Mexican-style restaurant in California. Cheers! So what do you think?
Say, I love Dawn. I love it.
How's it going? Hello.
That is the spiciest salsa ever.
Good spicy?
Four years. Both Bill and I have ridden for 4 years. I've skipped out last year to have another baby. We're proud supporters. We enjoy this. We think it's great. We'll continue to do this. Rumor has it someone wants to give it up, but we're probably not going to let that happen. Most importantly, we thoroughly enjoy having warriors come down from Calgary and other places. We believe this is primarily the main function of Cancervive and Wellspring. We'll strongly support that going forward, and please enjoy the food, enjoy the day on behalf of New Park. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Okay, I'm gonna lead it to Grace. We're gonna do it in Spanish, so hopefully you'll help me out here. Okay? So I'll say a couple words and you repeat after me. Sound good? Okay. Sí, ya, sí. Bendice el Señor para los alimentos que vamos a tomar en tu nombre. I'm in. All right. Have a good meal.
So we're going to start back there. Brian, you want to take your table? And
beautiful. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Janice and Catherine. Happy birthday to you. Stand up, stand up.
you go to either the back or just around the edge, please, and they'll bring your desserts to you.
Is that all you got? Aha!
All right, so we're just going to turn it over to Brian. He's going to say a few things, and then I believe Vanessa can come up with some instructions for tomorrow.
So we want to thank New Park again for tonight's lovely dinner. And as I said, they've been here right from the start, or right from year 2. So this is their 4th year they've been doing it. They've always been sponsoring this dinner. The first year was sort of ad hoc and just carried on the tradition. And they'd also like to thank Don Fix, who actually picked up the drink tap. Thank you, Don. Also want to give thanks to Wellspring, of course. Wellspring with Patty and Peggy helped tremendously throughout this last year. We've been donating to them right from the get-go, but over the last couple of years, they took over the donation side of things and a lot of the administrative type of things, and that's a very important key to this whole project. So thank you to Wellspring and Patty and Peggy for all their work. I wrote everything down because I'm still low on electrolytes and I might forget everybody's name. So, and if I do forget you, please stand up and tell me. But our volunteers that helped us on the way down, they're very similar to your caregivers. And the riders are like the people that need taken care of, like kids, children, thank you, Dad. Pete and Mike, of course, they've been with us right from the get-go as well. And Brent can attest what will happen if you are too close to the yellow line. Of course, and then we had our volunteer drivers that helped. Marilyn, my sister, she was a volunteer the first year and she came back for this year. And in my opinion, the first year was probably one of the best, well, because it was the first year. This year's the best. Coincidence? I think not. Owen Moriarty, who was the second year he came with us, and some great photos. Took over 1,200 photos, I know that. Sharon was another ambulance driver. This was her first year and her first night of spending it alone in a motorhome on a strange highway where nobody knew where she didn't know where she was. Don Fix again, our drink sponsor tonight. This was his 5th year. He's my former roommate, and he has no dirt on me, so please stop asking. Then we had the motorhome volunteer, the teams of Gary and Rick. For Gary, it was his second time. Last time he rode a vehicle back. We had Wayne and Charlene, Mom and Dad. This was their second year as well. We had the team of Doug, Teresa, and Faye. came along because he was a witness of the hill from hell. So it's nice to have a witness that you actually did it. Jim Perry was another one of our volunteers for the motorhome. As I go home, Jim rode the initial year and he rode the second year, and so now he's back again. So just can't stay away. We had and actually the motorhome, I just mentioned them as Uncle Ben's this year that's at the motorhome. So and thank you, Lynn, for lining that up. We had our ride boss, and which was Mike Newsom. Mike's done everything for this ride. He's been a volunteer, he's been a rider, he's been a ride boss. And I think he enjoyed it because he got more riding in than anybody else did. So, you know, I don't know what kind of a manager job that is, but tell me how you sign up. And of course, our videographer, Don Marcotte. Don really appreciates the drama from this year because he gets tired when it's boring. Last year was flat and tailwind, and he was really quite upset. So I'm glad we made it interesting for Don. We also had a volunteer that was with our team, Claire, who, even though she's younger than us, she took care of all of us. So thank you, Claire, for that was the crew. We. I'd like to mention the teams that we had, the riders, and I don't want to forget their names. Bobby, first off, team number 1, Wes, Maurice, Derek, David, Robert, and Reg. We had team number 2, which was led by Corey, who was missing in action for the last 3 days. If found, please. We had Chris, Warren, the Gym Stick, Lynn, and Margie. Team 3, who I'm proud didn't spend any night sleeping on the bench, picnic table, or anything like that. Patrick and Bill, Laurel, Sandy, Steve, Randy, and Greg Davis. Team number 4, but number 1 in our hearts, Norbert, Rita, Patty, Maureen, Brent, Kevin, and myself. And team number 5, with the bullet, was Tim, Bev, Heather, Kathy, Abe, Simon, and then our token warrior, volunteer, cancer survivor, driver, everything on. This route didn't just happen by accident. It was picked out by the logistics team, and everything that you've seen with the vans doesn't just happen as well. It's evolved, but there are some people that really put out a lot of work. Our board of directors and the guys that did the logistics. First off, Chris Elmquist, who did map out the route and spent hours and hours going over the map, so I'm glad he had some of the help. And as well, Norbert, who is going to be recruited for the next Everest climb as a Sherpa for all the work that he does. Wes, who really wants to thank for taking her up the road to Nepal as her first training ride. How ironic it was that we rode in the last ride together after doing that. Maurice also helped putting the books together. Tim, who's collected all the money for the gift for the volunteers that we gave out, and still hasn't turned it over. So actually, I don't think we've had the money from Tim from last year either. So I think it's a scam he's got going. Also, Patrick Murphy, who has been very instrumental in everything. He's the sounding board for me. Mike Newson. Who, when he says slight elevation involved, don't believe a word he says. Patty Morris, who has gone home, but she's of course an integral part of Wellspring, but she's also on our board for Cancervive. And last but most importantly, Peggy, who has taken abuse from everybody. 1,000,001 questions, but we couldn't do this without her and all her efforts. She's really made everything help run smooth. So thank you, Peggy. For those of you that followed us on our way down through the website, through the blogging on the Rider Cam, and you know, who made donations online, we need to thank Kevin Passano. The Rider Cam was a real highlight this year, and I apologize for when I was behind, because that was all you could see was the back of my shorts. I'll try to lose weight next year.
Next year.
And then we have some volunteers who are going to drive vehicles back. We came here, but we got to bring them all back. So Ed and Jennifer, Vanessa and Eric, Rick and Bart, Mike and Tanya, Kevin, Evan Rick, Judy and Colin, Gary and Marty, Mike Newson, and Bill's neighbors that I've never met and took off with the van already. So if you see them, thank you for them. Now, most importantly for me is this journey has been, well, 6 years in the making. Most importantly has been family. My brother Bill, of course. But, you know, right from the get-go, my sister Marilyn, of course, being involved for the very first years meant a lot. My son Evan was there right in the hospital when we met Lance the first time, and we could kick this thing off, and he did the first ride with me. And of course Maureen, who was there beside me the whole way. Without them, I wouldn't be here, and this wouldn't be here, so thank you. Now, there's been a lot of talk. What are we going to do next year? And I don't know what we're going to do next year. Cancervive is continued to evolve. It's evolved right from the get-go. And I've learned right from Cancervive that you got to follow the signs.
Did you say it evolved from the get-go?
Yeah, it's evolved. The signs you got to follow. When you come home from work and your wife says at 5:30, I don't know what we're doing for dinner, it's a sign that maybe you should go out for dinner. But there's other signs. I'm not a religious person, but I'm a spiritual person. I met Lance Armstrong in the hospital during my first day of chemo. That was a sign. I had to follow the instincts and put together this event. And who knew it was going to grow to something like this? And it's going to continue to evolve, and I don't know what it's going to look like next year. And if I did know what it looked like next year, I wouldn't have lost so much money in the stock market. But I can guarantee you that it's going to continue. And that we're going to continue to fundraise for Wellspring, whether it's Calgary or Edmonton. And we'll continue to organize events like the gala and the golf tournament, like hopefully other community events. And we'll continue to do the best thing that has evolved out of Cancervive. And that's the Warrior Program. Perhaps back in San Jose again. Maybe we'll return to Austin, or maybe we'll pick a new destination, something like Seattle, with a slightly different ride. But however we get there, And wherever we go, Cancervive is going to stay together, and together we can survive.
There is another couple that we have to thank, and I know this individual is a very humble man, and in anything great, there's always somebody behind it. And in this case, Brian, you want to come up here? And Maureen? Behind every great man, there's also a great woman. And just making sure he flies straight. So what we want to do this time around is, we got one of the King of the Mountain jerseys, and we chose it because in everything he does, he always puts a tremendous amount of thought and energy into. And in our minds, these two really are King of the Mountains. So from the riders, and this will be framed back in Calgary, so you can't take it with you and wear it on the plane. So we signed the front of the jersey, and then the thought occurred to me about 3 o'clock last night that, well, we're making a big mistake. And what Cancervive is all about, as Brian said so many times, it's about you, the Warriors. So the back is signed by one of the Warriors. And we're going to frame this back in Calgary, and we just want this as a token of our appreciation for everything and the countless hours that you've done. So thank you, guys.
All the riders also contributed an extra amount to get something special for the two of you, since you seemed adamant at one point anyway, that this is the last ride. I doubt it will be. Maybe the last one doing the function you have had, but it will continue. And it's a great thing you've started, a great thing that will continue with you in some way, whatever it is. But there's a small token here from everybody. And again, thank you, Brian and Marie.
Last cashier's check.
It's not a puppy, is it? It's a cat.
It's your testicle.
It's your testicle.
We found it.
We found it.
Oh, Macy.
See, it's shoes.
What else could it be?
Well, you know what?
It's halfway out. I'm not this.
Shoes.
The glass slipper.
Oh, another box. The bubble wrap. All right, for my seat. Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. I didn't do this for this, but this is great. Thank you.
Excellent. So we're just, there's a few instructions for tomorrow.
I don't know how I missed it. But of course oh, I missed the whole page. There we go. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Ignore everything I just said. First off, I want to thank our sponsors. And of course, we wouldn't be able to do this without our sponsors. Paz Digital. I'll just mention our major sponsors because there's so many minor ones. We'd be here all night. But Paz Digital, New Park, HSE, Meridian, Uncle Ben's, Halliburton, the Progress Club, Peak Energy, Advanced Safety, and all the other sponsors that of course help make this possible. I'd like to thank the Warrior Committee who put this whole Warrior Weekend together, which are Bobby, Vanessa, Maureen, Rayanne, and Susan. I'd like to thank all of the riders, who of course I mentioned. And I'd like to mention all of the spouses and family that give up all their time to listen to their spouses or riders go on and on about how they need a new bike, how they need all sorts of things, and let them go away to keep the home fires burning while we're up in this adventure disguised as altruism. But it really is for a good cause. I'd like to thank the next generation that is going to carry on this legacy, when Carson and Colton, who have already started their work towards going and keeping Cancervive going. They'll be part of the 2022 team. And of course the Warriors, who really make sense of why we do the ride. And a couple of Warriors that were Warriors last year that can give you inspiration that can go forward. Greg and Rita that were Warriors last year and they're riders this year.
Is there anything else?
Oh, the bikes in the back of the van to do
Yes.
tonight.
No, tomorrow morning you did.
Bikes are going in the back of the vans for the drivers driving home, so riders need to... The van's going to be in front of the...
Give me a synopsis what this weekend has meant to you.
Sure. Well, I guess when we arrived on Friday morning, I was only vaguely aware of all the activities and the activities and the camaraderie. And so when I got there, I was really looking forward to all of the things that we were going to do. But coming down the escalator, here are all the riders at the bottom of the escalator cheering for us. I felt like a rock star. So I thought, man, this is going to be incredible. And indeed it was. It's the most incredible situation, weekend that I've ever experienced in my life. And of all the things that went on for the 2 or so days of activities, not one person of any had anything bad or down or complaint or anything. And it was just a remarkable, inspirational situation where I was able to draw on so much positive energy. And it's had a tremendous impact on me. And to meet some of the little children that are sick without any complaints, and to see them having fun, and it's just been a remarkable experience. I can't express enough thanks to everybody who's done everything that they've done so far. So it's been a real eye-opener, and just a great thing that I've been able to experience. And I think the likes of everyone who works, the volunteers and invest in this, I don't want to have a year go by that I can't try and give back somehow to other people, to have them have an opportunity to do this as well. So I just want to thank everybody for what they've done. Thank you.
This was their second time. Come on up, please. we had Doug and Teresa and Faye.
Woo!
Yes. Teresa and Faye, our mother and daughter, they came up to, they came over from England just for this trip. So it's nice to see some road. We have Jim Carey. Jim Carey's here. Who else is here? Gary. Gary and Rick. Are they here? They're not here either. Gary and Rick. Okay, well they're not here. So no prizes for you. Well, we actually have a framed jersey, a framed bicycle frame. But it's a picture of the trip that we did. But this is a nice segue to thank our volunteers, and now we'll move on to the Warriors. But a really good segue from the ride into the Warriors. Norbert's going to come up and talk about that. We have a great story. Oh yeah, you can put this down. Oh, okay. Yeah! Oh, sorry, Mike.
And my favorite person.
Wait, I'm right here.
There you go, thanks very much.
Okay, thank you. All right. I guess it gives me some pleasure to make a special presentation tonight to somebody who was a warrior last year and was a rider this year. And that was a huge step. I was fortunate to ride on the same team with this person. I saw her train and try to ride the road to Nepal a number of weeks ago, which is a very steep, tough, hilly course south of Calgary. And you know, I saw the frustration, I saw the struggle, and walking the bike up the hill, and you know, pretty much ready to give up, I think. But this individual persevered. This individual is tough as nails. She kept at it. She and I guess it was all capped the other night, 2 nights ago on our last ride from midnight to 6. We had a 12-mile climb, steady climb, a lot of it 6% grade, and
colder than hell.
Colder than hell, 1 degree or -1, I guess it got to that night. Pretty much the toughest conditions. A lot of people would have given up, but I guess the only way I can describe it, she went from a warrior last year to king of the mountain this year. And Rita, come up and get. Yeah.
Hey, what about me?
Thank you.
Okay, do you have one more thing to say? No. Patty's got one more thing to say. She's only got 3 hours to say it.
I'll be quick. Just the one other thing that I wanted to mention that has been really special to us about Cancervive has been the degree to which it has influenced the next generation. So some of you will know this, but we have been blessed by a group of young people that have supported Wellspring that really have come to us through Cancervive, and we haven't had the chance really to ever publicly thank them. One of them we're actually going to have to thank on Sunday evening, but I won't be here, and so I wanted to be able to thank the 2 that are here tonight. The first person is Carson Reiser, and some of you will know that Carson Reiser is son of a rider 2 years ago who, because of the experience that his dad had as a rider and the kind of powerful effect that it had on him, decided that he wanted to also do a bike ride and raise money in support of Wellspring Calgary. And so for the last 2 years, instead of having a birthday party, he has done a bike ride in Calgary from Edworthy Park to the zoo and back, and has asked all of his friends to raise money in support of Wellspring. And over the 2 years, he has raised $18,000 in support of Wellspring.
Awesome.
And so we wanted to thank this amazing little man.
Hold it here for a second. Hold it
We
here.
have a bigger one too.
Good, thanks.
Thank you so much, bud.
Good job.
And the other person is actually someone who came to Wellspring before it began, and when she heard through John Staffier that this was an idea, also wanted to raise money in support of Wellspring. So one of our first donors, who now has become influenced by Cancervive, actually wants to be a rider, did the ride this year as a volunteer, but someone who raised the first donation for Wellspring through shaving her head when she was 11 years is my daughter, Claire. So we want to talk about that.
Claire was also a volunteer, but just for our team.
And then the other little fellow, as I mentioned, is someone that you'll hear more about, and we will have a chance to really celebrate him together. But it's Heather Friesen's son, who also just did this amazing thing, grew his hair, this beautiful hockey hair, and decided as part of Heather's goal to shave it off in support of Wellspring. And I have to tell you, just on a personal note, that my older daughter happens to work at a before and after school program that Colton used to be a part of. And he came in one day after he had shaved his head and asked if he could speak to all of the children about it. And I got a call from my daughter that night saying, the most amazing thing happened to me. I was working at the daycare and Colton came in, asked if he could speak to the children, and he came and told us about how he shaved his hair in support of this in support of Wellspring. And Katie said the most remarkable thing was he knew more about Wellspring than anyone she'd ever known. So not only had he done this amazing thing, but clearly Heather had done a really great job of helping him to understand the kind of way that he was supporting other people. So pretty significant group of young people that Cancervive is also spawning and that we wanted to thank very much.
Well, great. Now it's time to get to the Warriors, which is the best part of the weekend. We started a tradition last year. Every tradition just starts by accident. But what we would like to do is when we call out your name, if you could come up with your rider, and we can present a little treaty bag that we prepared for you. The theme of it was cycling, Canada, and Cancervive. So, we'll start off. Oh yes. Yeah. Liz. Yeah. Liz here?
Nope. That's,
No?
Corey's.
Corey's not here. Corey, is Corey here?
Corey.
Corey. Corey. No Corey.
Corey not here.
Okay.
That's a good start.
Bernie.
Nope. So Chris.
Bernie, Chris Elmquist. This is for your warrior. It's Joseph. It's for it's actually Norbert's father who couldn't be here, but. Warrior Mark. There we go.
And Val too. Was Val there too?
Oh no, we'll do it.
We'll do her later. I'll come back with the alphabetical order. Oh.
Okay. Jean. Go right in with your daughter, Kath. There you go.
Thank you.
Well, I get a hug. I don't think
Okay, I'll take that.
Valerie here?
Yeah, she is. She's over there. Which Valerie?
Valerie.
You're Valerie. My Valerie?
You're Valerie.
You're Valerie. You're Valerie.
Whose rider was Lynn Warrior. Lynn Warrior.
Lynn Warrior.
Lynn Rogers. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. This is one of my warriors, Jennifer. And you did the wine too.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't leave without the wine.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was very nice. Can't touch this. This is for Deborah. Yay.
Okay, Val? For Margie. Margie has 2 oars. Val?
Val.
Thank you.
I'm going to call you the choo-choo queen.
We have Janet, whose rider was Steve Lilly.
Thank you, Brian. There you go.
Oh, not me.
Why not? Oh, me
Thank you so much.
What's that?
Cameraman.
And kiss the cameraman.
You want to kiss it? Hey, I got to talk to you about getting home. Are you driving to Edmonton on the way home? Anyway, we'll talk. Get some wine.
Yeah, don't forget the wine. If you don't drink it, Heather will.
Catherine, who's Maurice's warrior. There you go.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much. Oh, there you go. Oh, thank you. Okay.
Where's Maureen? Right here. This is for me and Jennifer Fisher. Oh, okay. I'll get one later.
And there you go.
Oh, thank you. So I can have two.
Absolutely.
Great.
Trudy.
Thank you. She's right here. Thanks.
Okay. The next 2 are for Wes was the rider for was Bob, which was Jody's father, and Lauren. So if Wes can come up. Jody was going to be one of our riders this year, and unfortunately she couldn't make it for the ride. But Wes rode in her honor, and sounds good. Warrior. Joel, Bill, Warrior, Bill Weaver. How you doing? Some of you may get Bill and I confused. I'm the one with the mustache, okay? Okay, thank you. Kai and Carson, there we go.
Are they coming?
All right. How you guys doing? There you go.
I get his one.
I'm not sure who I should give that to. I don't want to be seat of D of M.
Who's your warrior name? Simon. Simon's warrior.
Well done. What you said last night was truly inspiring. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, start dancing.
It was a pleasure to have you with us.
Here,
Great to have you.
You get to have
Thanks to share it.
Okay.
No, they want us to.
Give me 1 second.
Okay, Wade, you were a stage warrior. Wayne does the hugging, sorry.
Yeah, we for sure want a hug. I want one from her.
I'm open.
I'm so glad you Great to have you
Yep,
here.
thank you.
Thanks. There you go.
Wait your bottle of wine.
Oh yeah, don't want to miss that.
Oh no.
That's yours, yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you so
Enjoy.
much. There's a whole lot hugging procession. You bet. Would you like? No, you go.
Just a small thing. Terry, my wife, was supposed to be Rita's warrior, but she passed away in April, so Rita invited me to come along, and I'm really happy to be here, and I think the support is tremendous, so thank you very much, everyone.
Who is Sandy's warrior?
I guess I get one too. I'm so glad you're back.
Good thing. Oh, that's okay. That's always good for one of those.
You go.
I'm just going to take a quick moment. We've also received from Bill's and Laura's friends and family. A book has been made for you for
no
today. And I'm giving it to you now.
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay? Good wine club.
You're most welcome. It's my pleasure.
Okay.
This is
Thanks for coming.
There you go. I know Reggie. Don't let him touch it.
We'll share. Promise.
Yeah, we'll share. There's a camera over here.
That's it for all okay, that's it for all our warriors who are here tonight. And what we'd like to have, we're pretty much wrapped up tonight, so we can go for dinner. But before we close off, we'd like to
Actually, can I have the Warrior Committee come up, please? There's most of them are here. So I just want to say thank you to Susan Roper, Vanessa Fishbutt, and Maureen McGregor. We sat on the committee and these guys have done a ton of work for this, so thank you guys very much. Thank you. And Rayanne Labrosse, who's not here with us, she was also a member of our committee. So we just have a few things to talk about for tomorrow morning. First of all, Sirigliano, and she's been our San Jose mentor. So if we had any questions, we type up an email, she responds, gets us wheelchairs, she's given us directions on where to get stuff, helped out a lot with the race packet information. So this lady, we owe a big round of applause to everybody.
Yeah, I think so. So we'll just see y'all at the village, the Livestrong Village, tomorrow at 9. How many of you guys are riding? So just a few. So for those of you that are riding, if you still need to take care of your fundraising minimum, you can do that with me at Team Will Call. And then the rest of you will just come and pick up your packets, which is basically information about the event, your goodies, and then you'll be on your way. And then we will stage at least 7:30 in the morning on Sunday, and you'll be out and on your way at 8. And it'll be great fun. We're so excited to have you here. Welcome to California. Do you like it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You got heat here.
We're taking the light rail down there, so when they get off the train at the convention center, that's where they should get off.
Yeah.
So it's going to be clear to us where it is, because we've been down there, but I don't know exactly. Like when we get off the train, the light rail.
Yeah.
Yes, right there, at the convention center.
Yeah.
Hey, and Peter, would you like to come up and... We have our 3 child warriors, if they could come up here, please.
One's in the pool. That's okay.
Oh, here's Joel.
Joel, there's Joel.
Stand right here.
Read up with the guys there, Joel.
Man. One more. Where's the...
Gabrielle. While we're waiting, we did have another child warrior that couldn't make it. That's Zoe, whose rider is Randy. I don't know if Randy's here.
Gabriella just went to the washroom.
Oh, okay. Wait.
Yeah, I can speak on behalf of Zoe. Zoe was my warrior last year for Philadelphia, and at that time she was going through chemotherapy and she wasn't well enough to go. This year we thought that she would be able to come. Well, her leukemia came back severe and she went through radiation and she's back in chemo again.
Randy and I brought her again this year, but she's not well enough to travel. But anyhow, she's a tough little girl. She's almost 7.
Just going to talk about the Canada flag?
What we've done is every year when we leave Calgary, we start off with a stack of Canada flags. And every one of these flags is flown on the ambulance on the trip down here. These flags are done every mile along the trip, run them off the antennas, and we have them signed by the riders, volunteers, and those involved in the trip. We bring them down. This is the 5th year, and we've been doing this every year now. And I kind of like to see it as a bit of a challenge, because I'd like to present you with the flag. This was on the ambulance. We've flown it down here. The riders, volunteers. If anybody didn't get a chance to sign it already, they're going to catch up and they'll sign it and stuff. So we'd like to present you with this flag. It's a bit of a challenge is to see how many of those you can get. All right. So we want to see you coming back, depending on where this ride goes and what we're going to do. You can come back as a rider, volunteer, who knows someday. And thank you very much for the privilege for us. Yeah. It's a privilege and an honor for us to be involved to do this, and that you guys let us come, and you guys are the reason we do it, and I thank you. Thank you very much for giving me the honor to do it.
Gabrielle, too.
Go up there.
Gabriella? Yeah, this is Gabriella. It's a flag that we had on the antenna of the ambulance the whole way up, and we've had everybody sign it, and all the riders and volunteers have been signing the flags, and we'd like to give this to you as a souvenir from the trip and what we've done. And hopefully we want to see you can hang on to this. And this is how many people are involved in this. We're riding in the group here that are thinking of you, and everybody's wishing the best, and everything is going to turn. We're hoping the best for you, and we'd like to give you this as a souvenir and say thank you very much for letting us do this.
Hi.
How are we doing? This is a flag from our trip. I'll give that to you as a souvenir. Alright? And anybody that's missed it, we'll come around and we're going to keep signing it. So they've got markers, so the guys are willing to sign it, okay? And thank you very much. Can I shake your hand?
You're a trooper.
Thank you very much for letting us do this with you.
Okay, well.
Nice to meet you. Great last name.
Yeah, beer. No, Bobby always mentioned about you guys, and I just wanted to make sure that we get to meet you.
Oh, we're so glad you came down.
This, wow, what a, a lot of people from the first meeting, they said, you'll really see the weekend, and I definitely, it was hard to relate or to have an idea of what to expect, but with the big family all together, I just knew we're very fortunate to be here.
Well, it's amazing, and we're so glad you came.
Yeah,
and you'll love the Live Strong event.
You guys are doing all the hard work, and thank you so much. We're appreciating it.
Well, thank you very much. We're so glad you came.
Say thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks again. Thank you. I get a hug too, right? Coming down.